Allen Iverson had a problem. Quick thing before we get into it. If you want to find out whether you're heading for the same kind of money trouble as the people in these stories, I put together a free checklist called The 7 Warning Signs You're Heading for Financial Ruin. It is the first link in the description and it costs you nothing. Go grab it, then come right back. The problem was not that he was broke. The problem was that he had made $154 million playing professional basketball. And in 2012, he was standing in front of a judge fighting over $62,000 in unpaid jewelry bills he could not cover. $154 million, $62,000. That is not a math error. That is a life story. Allen Iverson grew up in Hampton, Virginia. And when people say he grew up poor, they mean it in the specific concrete way. Houses where the sewage backed up through the floor. No heat in winter. No consistent electricity. His mother, Ann, had him at 15 years old and raised him mostly alone. He was the best athlete anyone in Hampton had ever seen. Football, basketball, track, it did not matter. He was faster, quicker, and harder to stop than anyone on any field or any court. But his path to the NBA was not clean. In February 1993, Allen Iverson was 17 years old. He was at a bowling alley in Hampton when a fight broke out. The details were disputed. Some witnesses said he was involved. Others said he was trying to leave. What was not disputed was that 4 black teenagers and 4 white teenagers were fighting, chairs were thrown, and people were hurt. The 4 black teenagers were charged. The 4 white teenagers were not. Iverson was convicted of maiming by mob, a charge that carried up to 5 years in prison. He was sentenced as an adult and sent to the Newport News City Farm, a correctional facility. He served 4 months before Virginia Governor Douglas Wilder granted him clemency, citing the inequality in how the case had been prosecuted. Georgetown University took a chance on him. Head coach John Thompson said he saw something in Iverson that most people were afraid of. 2 years later, Iverson left Georgetown and entered the NBA draft. The Philadelphia 76ers selected him first overall in 1996. At 6 feet tall and 165 pounds, he was the smallest number 1 pick in the history of the draft, and he was about to change basketball forever. In Philadelphia, Allen Iverson became something bigger than a basketball player. He was a cultural force. The crossover, the cornrows, the tattoos, the sleeve on his left arm, which the NBA tried to ban and eventually couldn't because too many players started wearing them. The jewelry, the way he walked into an arena. Kids across America were copying everything before the game even started. He won the NBA scoring title 4 times. He made the All-Star team 11 times, and in 2001 he won the league MVP award and carried the Philadelphia 76ers almost entirely by himself to the NBA Finals. They were massive underdogs. They beat the Los Angeles Lakers in Game 1. Nobody had beaten the Lakers all season. The money reflected all of it. His rookie contract was worth $9.3 million. In 2001, he signed a 6-year, $70 million extension with the Sixers. His later contracts paid him over $20 million per season. And then there was Reebok. In 1996, Allen Iverson signed a 10-year endorsement deal with Reebok worth $50 million. The question, sneaker. The answer. The line was one of the best-selling basketball shoe series in the company's history. Kids lined up outside stores the night before releases. By the time his playing career wound down, Allen Iverson had earned an estimated $154 million in contracts and endorsements. $154 million. But the money was going out just as fast as it came in. Iverson traveled everywhere with an entourage, not a small one. At certain points in his career, the number of people he kept around him and paid for reached 50 or more: hotels, flights, meals, cars, clothes, gambling debts. He covered it all. He reportedly spent more than $360,000 a month just maintaining the people in his circle. Gambling was a serious part of it. Atlantic City, Las Vegas. People who worked with him said he would lose $500,000 in a night without flinching, win some of it back, lose it again. Jewelry stores knew him by name, lawsuit after lawsuit for unpaid balances. One jeweler sued him for $260,000, another for $172,000. In 2012, a judge froze his bank accounts because he had failed to pay one jeweler $62,000. $62,000. A man who had made $154 million. His wife, Tawana, tried to leave. Their divorce proceedings were brutal. She said the family was nearly bankrupt, that the money she thought existed did not, that the accounts she believed were full were not. Meanwhile, Iverson was running out of teams. By 2010, he had played for 5 franchises in 4 years. Teams were reluctant to take on the off-court baggage, the entourage, the late arrivals to practice, the stories. His last NBA contract expired in 2010. He was 35 years old. No savings, no investments, no plan. He tried to continue playing in Turkey and in the Big Three League, but the career, for all practical purposes, was over. This is where the story takes a turn that most people do not know about. In 1996, when Reebok signed Allen Iverson to that $50 million deal, they included a clause he did not negotiate and did not fully understand at the time: a trust fund. $32 million set aside in an account he cannot touch until he turns 55 years old. It could not be spent. It could not be seized by creditors. His entourage could not access it. No court could touch it. Allen Iverson will receive that trust fund in 2030. The man who spent $154 million has $32 million sitting in a vault he cannot open for 4 more years. Allen Iverson is 49 years old today. He has done speaking engagements, brand appearances, and limited business work. He lives far more quietly than he once did. He has spoken publicly about regret, about the people he trusted, about the money he let go, about the choices he made when he was 22 and had more money than he knew what to do with. But the Reebok Trust Fund is the most remarkable part of this story, because Reebok in 1996 essentially made a bet. They looked at this 20-year-old from Hampton, Virginia, and they decided to protect him from himself. Lock away $32 million so that no matter what happened, the spending, the gambling, the lawsuits, the entourage, there would be something left. They were right about the spending, about all of it. And the $32 million that nobody could touch might be the most important